Okay, Peavey experts. So I purchased a used 3120, which I actually love this amp because if you can look over here, my main touring amp that I use is a Triple X combo. That's in the road case over there, as you can see. I think it's a 60 watt or 75 watt. It's not the one with the effects. It's like the first version of that. So I love the Triple X. So I know this amp was, just like a Triple X or branded. Also, if we look over here, I also have a JSX combo, which I thought would give me the same vibe as a Triple X, but only one channel of the JSX combo. Yeah, don't mind the ball from my dog. One channel of the JSX was actually utilized from the Triple X. So Triple X is my favorite amp. So this is voiced the same as the Triple X, which I absolutely love. So here's the problem. I'm going to show you my settings on here. When I bought this amp, I drove about an hour to get this thing in Jersey from Philadelphia. Okay? So the guy was kind of squirrely. Not really squirrely, but he said his wife, was, hesitant about having people in the house. I don't blame them with the current situation with the COVID and shit like that. So I said to him, well, that's fine. Either, he said he was going to bring it out to me when I got there. I said, well, I'd like to see if it works. Guaranteed it worked, before I purchase it. So I said to him, okay, either you demo it for me or you sign a contract, like a waiver, stating that, the thing works perfectly. He said, I will demo it from my living room. You'll be outside the screen door. I'm like, that's fine. So he demoed it through a 412 cabinet. When he demoed it, all the channels worked. The red channel, which I'm having the problem with, the yellow, the crunch channel, and the clean channel, they all worked. I even asked him, turn each knob, because I don't want to hear any crackles. I know, the pots were bad. I'd have to go in there and open it up, clean it, and stuff like that. I'm no stranger to amps. I fix my own amps and stuff like that. Biased them myself. Also, tubes. I'm very particular with tubes. If you look over here, in this box right here, this is a Hickok 752 tube tester. So I have a collection of new old stock tubes. I love tubes, rare tubes and stuff like that. New old stock tubes and stuff like that. I think I even threw a bunch in the JSX. I have some ancient ones. Let's see what I had over here. These are actually RCAs from the 50s, I believe. They all test very well. Sorry, these are all RCAs, 12AX7s, Telefunctons and stuff like that. If you look at this, you can see that. So all my tubes, I know I'm pretty familiar with the tubes. I'm not an expert. I just know what I'm doing. So I noticed a problem here on the red channel. The volume cut significantly. The clean channel works great. The crunch channel, the yellow channel works great. And then when I switch on the red channel, the volume just cuts out. You can barely hear it. When he demoed it for me, everything worked fine. So I'm very, I'm at a loss right here, okay? So I actually pulled all the tubes and I ran them through the Hickok. They all tested no problem, no shorts. They all are, they're all strong. They test where they should be. So I even took one tube I knew, I swapped out some of the tubes with tubes I know that work, get the same problem. So I'm going to show, if I can pause this thing. I don't think I can pause it. I guess I can. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to fire it. It's not fired up yet, but let me crank it up. So as you can see, everything cleared in there. Tube, if there were bad tubes, it would take a long time or something like that. I know from the XXX and the JSX. So channels, the channel switching works perfectly. You see, the foot switch down here, and switches, crunch channel, red channel switches fine. And this has the same effect, which I'm going to demonstrate when I disconnect the foot switch. So it's not a foot switch issue. It's not a power tube issue, because if it was a power tube issue, it would have the effect on the other two channels. It's not a preamp issue, any of the V1s through V4s or the phase inverter, because that has the same gain stage as the crunch channel. I just don't know what it could be. Now I'm thinking that it may be a relay. Something happened between when he demoed it and when I brought it home. So I'm just perplexed. Like, why I didn't catch this when he was demoing it? Because he couldn't have demoed it. It couldn't have been. It was loud as hell on the red channel. He couldn't have faked me out and cranked the volume, the master volume, all the way up, and use the individual channels, because that the same effect. So let me show you what it sounds like. Okay. So I have my guitar, and I forgot to turn the standby off. Just need to standby on the clean channel. So, just going to strum something, actually. And as you can see, the knobs are the same on the crunch and the red channel. So, I'm going to hit the crunch channel on here. Let's make sure. Yep. Crunch channel. Crunch channel. I'm using one hand, actually, just to show the people, the experts on the Peavey forum, what's going on. So, and I'm going to engage the red channel now. That's what happens when I engage the red channel. No matter what I do, where's the volume at? The volume is, gain's the same on there, the master volume. Master volume, and also the channel volume. It's weird, look. It gets softer. If I switch back to the crunch, it's loud as hell, as you can see. So, I'm not sure what the hell happened from the time that he demoed it by the time I got it home. And I'm very, kit gloves with amps and stuff like that. I put it in the back of my SUV. I didn't go over any potholes or anything. That was a very smooth ride. So I'm just really what the heck is going on moment with this amp. And as I said, pulled all the tubes, tested the power tubes. It couldn't be the power tubes because that would be all squirrely if that was the case. The bias, if the bias is off, it doesn't really matter. with the one channel, the amp would just run hotter and it's decrease the life of the tubes. I didn't check the bias on here. I have a bias probe, which, you know, I would have done if, you know, everything was fine. I would have checked, make sure the bias is okay. And the tubes are all in good shape and they test very strong, all of them. And I swapped them out with other known, you know, other tubes I know from another amp, you know, other tubes I have. I get the same effect. So I'm not sure if it's a relay, but if it was a relay, it wouldn't switch at all. And also, let me just pause this. I'm back. I actually disconnected the foot switch just to show you, you know, it's not a foot switch issue. I have other foot switches, so that wouldn't be a problem. Let me get the guitar down. Just to, clean channel. Same thing. Total loss of volume. That should be that should have been blaring loud. You know, unbearable. So, switching back to here. Kicks in. Clean channel's fine. I don't get it. I don't know what could have happened from when you demoed it to when I got it home. The cabinet, you know, the cabinet cranks. Not a problem with the cabinet if I use this with other, you know, other amps and stuff. So, hopefully someone on the forum can give me a rough idea. What am I looking at? It could be, I'm not sure if it's a relay or not, because like I said, if it's a relay, it wouldn't switch at all. But I'm not an expert. I know enough to be dangerous. I'll probably wind up, after I post this, you know, see what people say. I'm going to have to take it in to one of my amp people and get it diagnosed. So, thank you for looking at this, and I appreciate the Peavey forum and everyone's advice on here. Thank you so much.